Yeah, we live, we live, we live. Live. So, every workout I try to dedicate to something. It's just really getting up today. Just talking about health, physically, mentally, spiritually, vitality, physically, mentally, spiritually. And dealing with correspondence, which is one of the seven hermetic principles. The laws on one of the seven hermetic principles. Law number two, dealing with correspondence. With my class yesterday, we took a trip down memory lane to see what was in our mental atmosphere. You understand me? So that just was bringing up everything. You understand me? Everything that Papi is about since the time, you know, I was a young lad when I first arrived on this planet. I always been a fighter, and you know, uh, nobody could take nothing from me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to take nothing from you. That's just always been my energy as a fighter. Physically, mentally, and spiritually, nobody could take nothing from me. You understand me? So just a natural fighter, people always want to respect your physicality, especially if you impose it, but they don't want to respect your mind. Everybody see these athletes and don't see them as muscles, but don't want to respect their mental. Don't respect these people as geniuses. When in fact, genius is definitely equated, scientifically equated with athleticism. You understand me? They tested Olympic champions and seen that their athleticism, you understand, their superb athleticism matched their genius. You understand me? They were using more of their brain than the average person. But this is about nobody taking nothing from you. The first time I think I did a colon cleanse, I was about 30, I believe. I believe I was 28, between 28 and 30. I did my first colon cleanse, and I was overweight. I was about 240 pounds, and I didn't realize that something was being taken from me. I was athletic still, I was in the gym still, but when it came to training and fighting and stuff like that, my wind and everything wasn't there, and so I started recognizing somebody was taking my vitality, somebody was stealing something from me. But make no mistakes, from the first time you land on this planet, you are being limiting positions, limiting thoughts, are being dumped on you. And these things are robbing you of your birthright in this hologram, in this place, because you are compatible with this experience in such a way. But today the motivation, we're going to fight. You understand? Today the motivation behind the workout is nobody taking nothing from you. You understand me? Nobody taking nothing from you. There was a hem high, scratch and sniff. There's this story called, huh? Scurry. There's a story called Who Moved My Cheese? Powerful story. They tell it to a lot of folks in they tell it to a lot of people in colleges and these they tell it to a lot of people in colleges and these seminars and such. The story's called Who Moved My Cheese? Powerful story. And it talks about four different personalities. It talks about more, but I'm just going to talk about the four. You understand me? When Papi tell you this story, this is the first time you heard it from me, because I'm always going to give you the real wisdom on what's going on. So if you never heard this story, go check it out. I'm not going to tell the whole story. It's a big ass. It's not a big story. It's not a long story, but it's a lengthy story. But it just kind of reminded me. Who moved my cheese? We talking about people taking shit from you. And in the story, Who Moved My Cheese? You have these characters. You understand me? All their lives all being dictated by who's ever moving the cheese around. And the cheese represents something that you want in life, something that you have. Like I was just talking about, your vitality, your health is constantly being taken away from us through the food and shit like that. Your strength, all these things. Who doing it? Who doing it? Somebody doing it. And oftentimes when you explain some things that's going on, and you don't know the name of somebody, some smart ass will be like, well, who are you talking about? Who's them? Who's they? Who's them? Who's they? Those type of folks. They're not objective thinkers. They need a name on who, them. So who's taking your vitality? You don't know. Somebody taking it, but because you can't name it, it's not valid to them. You understand me? That's just a high level of ignorance, but people call that intelligence. If you can't answer who doing this shit, it ain't happening. Somebody motherfucking taking your vitality. That shit is happening. Attacking it. Somebody attacking your blood. Somebody attacking your way of living. Somebody attacking your mentality. Somebody always giving you a limiting position. Who? I don't know. It's just happening. Well, anyway, in the story, Who Moves My Cheese, they never motherfucking say who. And the book honestly starts off with a lie. It tells you it's 4 characters. You understand me? But it's really 5. And the name of the motherfucking book is Who Move My Cheese. And they start with the book saying, hey, there's 4 characters. Him, Ha, Sniff and Scratch? Sniff and Scurry. Him, Ha, Sniff and Scurry. Sniff and Scurry was movers and shakers. Sniff and Scurry, Sniff, Scurry, him and Ha all lived in the same community, so to speak. And somebody would put the cheese in the community, and they would eat the cheese. Scurry would eat the cheese and then leave the community and search around this maze that they had built for these mice. And you understand? Scurry would always, I don't know if I'm telling the story specific, but you go check the Scurry out. I'm giving you the semantics of the whole thing. Scurry would always eat the cheese that they placed in the spot and then go dip off. Scratch would just eat the cheese and chill. And then him and Ha would also eat the cheese and chill. You understand me? So every day, you understand me, the person who put the cheese there would crescendo the time, put it out there later and later and later. You understand? Maybe skip a day sometimes. You understand me? So what's the 2 ones to move? Scurry and Sniff. So Scurry, the one that was already on the move, searching through the maze, seeing what was going on. Sniff, because of the delayed reaction of the cheese, started moving around with Scurry. So Scurry and Sniff moving around the maze, looking around like, hey, the cheese ain't here at this hour. Where's it at? Oh, the cheese ain't come today. Where's it at? So Scurry and Sniff would move around. Him and Ha would just chill, like, oh, the cheese ain't come yet. They would just chill. If the cheese didn't come, they wouldn't eat. So, Scurry and Sniff was always making a way like, hey, maybe if the cheese ain't here, it's someplace else. And that's what was happening. They was putting the cheese in different places. And so one week went by, no cheese. Him and Ha still chilling there. Scurry and Sniff dipping around, making new pathways. Scurry and Sniff started documenting their travels on the walls of the maze, so they can find their way back to the other cheese in case it came. So they would dip out, come back, see if the cheese there, dip out, come back, see if the cheese is there. And the person who was moving the cheese, the entity or whatever, the who that we don't know who, was moving the cheese, which they never talk about when they tell the story. You understand? Maybe make sure you tell them Papi told you first when they told this story, because they know nobody has ever mentioned the who. You understand me? Of who is moving the cheese. And the moral of the story is, which character are you? Scratch, Sniff, him or Ha. So I'm going to keep telling the story. Scratch and Sniff was moving around and trying to find a path, and it was right in directions on the maze. And in a whole different place, the person who moved the cheese said, I'm going to put the cheese over here. You understand? So they put the cheese in a whole different place in the maze. Scratch and Sniff finally found it in the new place for the cheese. Him and Ha started to starve. A month went by, no cheese. What the fuck is going on? Ha, you understand me? Him and Ha, you understand, used to talk to each other. I don't remember which one it was, but let's say Ha. Ha was like, yo, come on, Him. We got to dip. They never going to bring the cheese back. Let's find a place to be. Him would be like, nah, let's wait here. Let's be faithful. They always bring the cheese. The cheese has always come. My whole life I've known the cheese has always been here. You understand? That was Him. You understand me? So these two would always debate back and forth about leaving, but Ha would never leave with Scratch and Scurry. You understand me? So when Scratch and Scurry found whatever their names is, Sniff and Scurry. When Sniff and Scurry found the cheese, they chilled. They never went back to the other old spot. So him and Ha was like, yo, Ha was like, yo, him, Scratch and Scurry or whatever the fuck their names is never came back. You know, maybe they found some cheese. And him was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? So Ha started to venture out. And Ha started to venture out, and then Ha started to see the writings on the wall from Scratch and Scurry. You understand me? And Ha started following his path. And then Ha was scared though. So when he got too far out, he would go back. He was like, yo, man, there's some writings on the walls. I think we can follow this pathway, you know what I'm saying, to Scratch and Scurry, and maybe they got some cheese. So he kept going back and forth with him and Ha. So Ha kept going back and forth with him. Never wanted to leave. Ha finally followed the pathway and found the cheese with Scratch and Scurry, and I think him might have died. I don't know. But anyway, the moral of the story, they say, which character are you? Which four characters are you? You know what I'm saying? You get to be him, Ha, Scratch, and Scurry. And the first time I heard this little story, I was at a conference, and they were talking about how you react to people taking things from you. How do you react to you losing things in life? And this shit done turned into a motherfucking sermon. But anyway, how you react to people taking things from you in life. So people was like, well, I'm more like Scurry or Snatch. Some people like, I'm like Scurry. I'm gonna find a path, even though life is good. You know, you got money in the bank, but you still hustling, trying to find things and trying to drum up things and stuff in life. That's a Scurry mentality. Scratch, you understand me? Had the Sniff had the mentality of, if things don't go how I want it to go, then I'm gonna look for another. So the Sniff got a good job, he chilling. Hey, things starting to change in life, I'm gonna move. So Scratch and Sniff or Sniff Scurry, whatever, those two characters had the mentality to move. You understand me? And then him and Ha. So Ha eventually moved and was able to track and benefit off of Scratch and Scurry's adventures, exploits. When you read a book, you're benefiting. Some people spend their whole life studying on a topic. So when you read a book, you are standing on somebody's back, just like Scratch and Sniff was writing a path. You standing on somebody's back on the information. It's a beautiful thing to read a book. I love reading a book because I get to piggyback on somebody's life study. And I can get in there however long it takes me to read the book, and the information is mine. I ain't got to spend my life studying it. But anyway, this is what happens with people doing right on the wall. So some people go for themselves and they move forward. Some people go for themselves and kind of leave a message for other people to follow. And then some people will follow the information and go, and some people won't never move. That's cool. But the point of the story is, who the fuck is moving the cheese? You understand me? So they was asking, well, which one of you? Which one of you? And they asked me who I wanted to be. And I said, I wanted to be the one moving the cheese. Because when it doesn't really hit you until, you understand me? It never hits. I guess it never hits people. I never heard it told like this. You understand me? Nobody ever. They said there's 4 characters. Which 4 are you? You understand? They don't tell you it's a 5th character. You understand me? And can you get to choose to be the 5th character? Well, this is what we talking about when we talking about mentalism and we talking about people taking shit from you. You understand me? Since you were born, they've been taking your birthright from you. You understand? We got direct access to mind. And mind is what control everything. We are a remote controller. Our brain is a generator of thoughts. Everything, our melanated endocrine systems are generators of energy, generators of thoughts. You understand me? So we don't have concept of self. So that shit's been taken from you since you was a child. I'm getting a little upset. Motherfucker taking shit from you, that should get you a little upset. So, your ability to function in this motherfucker since you was a child, they drowning you with fear. They drowning, your parents drowning you with insecurity and jealousy. The religion or whatever faith system they belong is insecure and jealousy. Everything is propped up by these lower ass natures, and they taking your divinity from you. You understand me with that? So ain't nobody taking no more shit from us. You understand me? And this is with the study of mentalism in mind and the 7 Hermetic principles and all of the motherfucking sciences, quantum mechanics, metaphysics, you understand? Quantum physics, quantum biology, alchemy, you understand me? All of the mythology. This is what all of that shit is about. You understand me? Astronomy, astrology, numerology, you understand me? This is what all of that's about. Energy, wave, all of that stuff. You understand me? Everything under the sun. Study these things to undergird yourself with strength. You understand? This is what they took from you. You shouldn't be studying this shit at 20, 30, and 40. This is something that we should have been given as children. So they teaching your children bullshit in school. I've been teaching my daughter metaphysics since 8. My daughter been on metaphysics since 8, reading these metaphysical books that people can't even grasp at 40 and 50. You understand me? So a young mind is really receptive and ready to do whatever we need to do. But we're going to do, the motivation behind today is niggas taking shit from you. This was pretty long. I might just cut this one and start a whole new live. How long was this? 14, 15 minutes? I think I'm about to just start a whole nother live because I don't want to make this other one super long. But this one is about dedicated to what's being taken from you. I mentioned the story that you can get, Who Moved My Cheese. Read the story. It's a powerful story because people were in class like, damn, oh my God, that's me. I'm not going to move. So you had a lot of different characteristics and such. And another thing is wealth. You understand me? There was, people financially, stable in the class. It was a class on investment, real estate investments and such. So, people had some things going on for themselves. But people with millions in their pocket, He asked who the dude in the class, they was giving away cars and shit. He had some money. I don't know how much money he had, but he was asked who in there think they wealthy. So he was a big badass wealthy man, and he was like, "Yo, who think in there they wealthy? Like, I'm about to tell you how much I'm wealthy. You think you wealthy? How much you understand?" He was kind of like that, and I was the only motherfucker in the class that raised my fucking hand. You understand? He said, "Who think they wealthy in here?" I was the only one who raised their hand. And he came over to me and said, he was like, "Okay, shit, I didn't know this was going, I was going to speak behind it." But he came over to me and was like, "What makes you wealthy? What makes you think you wealthy?" I said, "Well, I got up this morning, I ran 6 miles. I just had a new son. You understand me? I just started mentioning things that was going on in my life. And I just felt like this shit. You understand me? When I do physical activities, you understand, this is part of my goals, reaching the shit. So I got up, ran 6 miles in 45 minutes or something like that. And I was feeling like a champ. You understand me? So my wealth and your wealth shouldn't have nothing to do with motherfucking shit out of your hands. You understand me? If it's out of your hands, you shouldn't be staking your wealth on that. And I'm telling you, wealth ain't got shit to do with, you understand me, nothing that's out of your hands. Your wealth got everything to do with what's in your hands. You can't buy, and wealth is shit you can't buy with money. You can't buy good health. You got to spend your time on that. You can't buy wisdom. You got to spend your time on that. You can't buy knowledge. You got to spend your time. No matter how much you pay to go to college. If you read the books, you ain't got the knowledge. You understand me? If you can't put two and two together and you're not an objective thinker, you ain't got the knowledge. So you can't buy these things. And that's why I'm wealthy. It comes from me. You understand me? It comes from me. Mastery of my physical self, mastery of my mental self, and mastery of my spiritual self. You understand me? Mastery of my environment, knowing where the fuck I'm at, knowing what I'm made of. You understand me? How I interact with this shit. That's wealth. So, it ain't got nothing to do with motherfucking money. We need to drop that shit. You understand me? Because your face ain't even on the money. You understand? We judging people by who got more of these monies and currencies and this shit. So we need to escape that bullshit. Because whatever black folks do is fly. You understand? We can rock, nigga, making our own shit. Whatever we gonna do is gonna be fly, and they gonna be trying to follow it. That's where all of these styles come from. People being poor. Niggas buying $500 ripped jeans and shit. That came from niggas being poor. Niggas buying tight jeans. That came from niggas being poor. You had to wear you had to wear your little brother jeans. You understand? The baggy jeans came from niggas being poor. You understand? You had, my mom's called it the 3-year plan. She bought your shit 3 years, 5 size, nigga. You don't know when you're gonna be able to get back to the store to get some new shit. We're gonna make sure you get this a couple sizes bigger. So all these styles, the chucks and shit, the khakis, all that shit came from niggas being poor. You understand? So fuck buying new shit. Motherfuckers getting punched in their face by Asians and shit, running up in these stores and shit. Fuck your nails. I don't give a fuck about your nails or all that shit like that. Most men don't. And do the shit yourself. You understand me? You know, it's about time we gotta start having respect for ourselves and how we move, man. And money ain't got nothing to do with our flavor. Look at this shirt I got on, all inside out, and you know, whatever, you know, but I'm still up here wealthy than a motherfucker. You understand me? Just because of what you got. But that's what's up. I'm about to go to the live. We about to get into some dynamic movement with Papi. I thought this was going to be a dynamic movement joint. I'm going to go back to YouTube and change the title of that for y'all later. But I'm about to get it shaking. I'll see y'all in a second.